Good morning. Good to see everyone. Welcome to all of you who are online to our Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living Wednesday Inspiration service. And welcome to all of you who are in person. We have a wonderful service in store for you as always. And what do you think we're going to do first? We're going to pray in. Yes, let's pray in. So let's turn within for a moment to remember some beautiful truth that there's just this one life, this one beautiful life, whole, perfect, complete in every way, and at every point of existence. At every point of existence is this one life, this one power, this one infinite intelligence, one mind. And that very one is that which expresses as my life and being. I am a divine expression of that one. And knowing this is true for me, I am so clear that it is true for everyone in this room, everyone online, and everyone that concerns us. Everyone, everywhere is a unique divine emanation of that one. And so in this awareness, I bless our time here today. I know it is so perfect. I know that each one has come here with an opening in their heart, with an opening in their being to receive whatever it is that will support them today. And I know that Reverend Mary Morgan is here to be that vessel, to be that vehicle through which some beautiful wisdom, some beautiful remembrances, some beautiful sharing comes forth for us as spiritual food this morning. And I know it is good. I know it is perfect. I just bless this time together. I know it is so uplifting, so healing, so opening. For that, I am so grateful. And in gratitude, I release this word. I let it be. We establish it together with the words. And so it is. Yes, amen. All right, and last week, Mary, I don't know, no pressure, but last week I actually led them in a song, a cappella. We did "I Love Myself So Much" a cappella, and then at the end we did "I Am So Blessed" a cappella, and we all sung. So given that your singing voice is much more trained than mine, you might be able to do something like that too. So a few announcements this morning. Tonight is Ecstatic Dance, 7 p.m., Ecstatic Dance. Annie's going to be there. She's got her arms up. Yeah, she's already dancing. I will be there. It's so much fun. Okay, Kenneth will be there as well. And Vicky's going to be there. And Sandy is going to be there. See, I think I don't remember your name, Sandy, because I called a woman at the first church I was ever part of. I called a woman Sandy for a whole year. And then she said, "By the way, my name isn't Sandy. It's Karen. Oh, there you go. Now the block is removed. The block is removed. Zandy. Okay, now I'll totally remember forever." But Zandy's going to dance with us tonight, too. It's going to be beautiful, and you, too, can join us, and it'll be it's a beautiful way to be free, to really just be free and see what the body wants to do and release anything that needs to be released. Science of Mind study group in Spanish meets tomorrow at noon. Join us for that if you would like to learn Science of Mind in Spanish. A workshop this Sunday, there's no cost, called Enhancing Brain Health, Strategies and Resources for Optimal Cognitive Functioning. This Sunday, 12:30 after service, brought to us by Beach Cities Health District. And there's some really cool tidbits that she's going to share. This woman, Emily Brocious, is going to share with us that I found really fascinating because it's things for our cognitive health that we wouldn't necessarily connect to our cognitive health. We would think like, oh, those are good things, but we wouldn't realize, oh, not only is that a good thing, but if I do more of that, it helps my cognitive health. So join us for that. It's no cost, and it'll be after service on Sunday. Conscious Kids Summer Camp right here at the center. We are having a Conscious Kids Summer Camp July 28th through August 1st. It'll be 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here. Ages 6 to 10, kids ages 6 to 10, a week of mindfulness, creativity, play, art, affirmation, and connection. Wow, don't we want that for our children? For sure. So see Robin in the children's program or grab a flyer in the lobby for more information. Speaking of dancing, Are you ready for Motown in our town? We're going to get down with Motown in our town. Claudia Krikorian and Jim Hale's Divine Dining Bash on August 3rd. And you want to sign up for that as quickly as you can because that is going to sell out. We have a limit of no more than 100 people. And we're going to rock out to a 9-piece band called Film at 11 and the Late Breaking Horns. That's a long name. Along with cuisine from Chef Robert Bell, former owner of Chez Melange, who is preparing a beautiful and diverse menu, including vegan choices, yay, and an open bar. Did I mention an open bar as well? I don't drink, but for those that do, I mean an open bar, wow. Where can you go for a 9-piece band concert, a catered meal, libations for only $110 a person, plus you're worth it, plus all the funds come directly to the center. So it's a fundraiser for the center. Claudia and Jim are so generous in providing all of that, but all of the funds come to the center to support what we do here. So it's like a win on like 10 different levels. So Motown in Our Town is a fun fundraising event with great socializing, dancing, and all kinds of good stuff. Food, all good stuff. Sign up at the front desk. The last day to pay and sign up is July 27th because they do need to get a count for the caterer. Women's Circle, our Women's Circle will be meeting this Sunday in the teen room at 12:30. Choir practice is back next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. right here. The sound bath with choir member Sarah Kuravilla is on Saturday, July 26th at 10 a.m. Love donation of $20. No one will be turned away. It's going to be fabulous because she does some unique. She went and trained, Sarah, she's in the choir, she went and trained in India to do sound baths on multiple occasions. And she does some, even if you've already done sound baths, she does some really unique things with her bowls that you probably have not experienced in other places. And it's very healing. She's definitely takes it on as a healing ministry. So join us on Saturday, July 26th for that. Myself, Reverend Gregory Toole, I am doing a workshop called What to Do with Feelings. This is a new workshop. It'll be on Sunday, July 27th after service. There's flyers in the foyer. So this whole month, we're talking about emotional intelligence, and we're going to really get into some of the hands-on of how do we work in the spiritual context with our emotions, with our feelings. So join us for that. The Landscape Committee is looking for help with some summer watering. So we have 2 volunteers watering now, and we might need some extra help in the summer with the potted plants during the summer heat. So please let Doris know if you're available to do that as a backup to our other volunteers. Founders Church, which is one of the original Centers for Spiritual Living, is honoring Reverend Dr. Arthur W. Chang after 33 years as their senior minister. He was their minister there for 33 years, and we all are invited to go to that. There's some flyers out there in the lobby if you're interested in going. I want to go because I've never been to Founders Church, and it's got so much history for our movement, and I've never been there. 30 years in the movement, I've never been to Founders Church. So first time I'm going to be there, and you too could be there. Let's see, flyers for all of our events can be found outside. For a full list of activities, see the weekly e-newsletter and Spirit Speaks magazine. And thank you, a big thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers. We get so many people volunteering, and that's what makes the center run. You know, a spiritual community is really run by volunteers. It looks like there's a few of us running it, but really the staff are just a small part of what gets done here. The volunteers really keep this place going. So thank you so much. Yes, give applause for the volunteers. And finally, I'm sure you didn't come here just to hear me give announcements. We came here to hear our beloved Reverend Mary Morgan give us a beautiful message and an invitation for her to also lead us in some singing if she wants to. All right, come on up, Reverend Mary. Absolutely. Thank you.
The microphone hand up. Thank you, Reverend Gregory. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? I'm going to try that again. How you doing? Woohoo! Are you ready for the good vibration talk? That's what today is about. I'm going to talk about good vibrations. I don't know about you, but I said, okay, I got to get in that spirit of good vibrations. And sometimes it's, every morning I do my meditation and I say, I'm not leaving this bedroom, even though my cat wants me to get up quickly and feed him. I don't leave it until I'm feeling that connection. I'm feeling that, okay, I'm ready. The idea of good vibrations for me came because I don't know if you're familiar with the Beach Boys, but Brian Wilson made his transition the beginning of June. And he was the guy that created Good Vibrations, the song. He wrote the music, and his cousin Mike Love wrote the actual words for it, kind of fine-tuned the words after he and Brian were discussing stuff. But the whole idea of the Good Vibrations, it was a very unique song in the music world because they were doing a lot of things musically that had never been done in studios before. And it was heard that Paul McCartney and John Lennon were blown away when they heard Good Vibrations because they were like, what genius ideas happened? So that was really neat, but it was about Brian, I guess, had a crush on a gal, and so he was writing a song about, the words are, I'm picking up good vibrations, she's giving me excitation. But they said that the actual thought of it came when he was having discussion with his mom, because she was talking to him about how dogs have this extrasensory perception and they can pick up the energy of people. And she said, if the dogs can do it, people can do it even more. So he's like, aha. So he got this idea of that concept, and then Mike Love fine-tuned the lyrics and said, we're getting good vibrations here. We want to send out good vibrations. And I thought, well, what a good formula or recipe for creating the life that we want. It's so simple. Go create a good vibration. You're like, well, wait a second. Because good vibrations, think about it. All it really is the energy that we're putting out there. Any kind of vibrations, that's the energy that we're putting out in the day. And we may say, I don't know, am I putting out vibrations every moment? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I watched a video the other day of a man that is a musician, and he hooks little diodes to plants, and they create music. And he listens, and all these different plants were creating all these different melodies. And he said, they're alive, they're vibrating every moment. And I'm certain, any of you have pets out there? Come on, our pets absolutely pick up our vibe. My cat knows when I scramble around the house to get ready, he's like, Mom's gonna go, I get a treat. So he begins meowing. I'm like, honey, you don't get a treat for 5 minutes, so you gotta wait. But he'll pick up that vibration because I'm sending out that vibration, right? But a lot of times, the things that don't happen into our lives, it's because we've got a resistance to things showing up. Now, that may not seem true, but the truth is, it is true, because we're all energy. And everything that we put out there begins with what? It begins with our subconscious mind. It begins with our thought. Remember, we say thoughts are things. But thoughts aren't just things. Thoughts create the things in our life. So if we don't like what's showing up, we have to go back to our original thought. And you may say, oh, no, I desire to be super wealthy. I desire to be in that perfect relationship or that perfect job or have creativity or whatever it is. But actually, it's important to investigate, where's my resistance? Because if things aren't showing up in our life, who's to blame? Who's it going back to? I don't mean blame, because blame's, cancel that word. But who's generating the thought other than you? Now we may say, oh, but there's so much stuff going on in the world, And Eleanor Roosevelt said, the only way that you can drown is that no one can drown unless you let the water in, right? So if you don't let the negativity in, guess what? It's not going to impact you. Now, that doesn't mean you go around like, la, 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 nothing's happening. But it's knowing that, just like this teaching reminds us, there's a power in the universe that we're using every single day, and it's using us as well. And that power is creating the good in our experience that we desire according to the energy and the thought and the feelings that we're putting out there. So if we don't like what's showing up, it's like, okay, I've got to dial back into, where is it? I wrote a thing on the way here, which I always do. Are we a vibrational match to our desire? Or are we a vibrational match to our belief about the desire? Now feel the difference. we may have a desire, and you may have an imagination, and you say, oh, I'm going to create this magnificent relationship or tons of money flowing into my life or whatever it is. But sometimes we're not even aware. It's so subtle of our resistance to what's going on. We don't even pay attention that it's happening. But if it's not showing up, that's your cue that there's a resistance there. Michael Luzier, who wrote the book Law of Attraction, said that allowing is one of the most difficult things for people to do. And he said, allowing is the absence of a negative vibration. But however, we can put the prayer out there and we can have the imagination. But if it isn't showing up, we have to dial back into what aren't I allowing in my experience? What am I hanging on to? Like, oh, this will never happen for me. He declares that most people say, when I allow, I'm allowing my idea to feel possible. So if you're allowing your idea to feel possible and it's not showing up, what are you believing about the idea? You know, we hear these funny little statements all the time. It's like, oh, you know, they're not hiring people at your age. Oh, you know, losing weight, it's such a project. It's so hard. It's going to take you months to lose that weight. Until they found Ozempic, I guess. But they do say, you know, it's going to take you forever to lose weight. Or like, you know what? You got to save your money for a rainy day. And guess what? You save your money for a rainy day, what have you just assured yourself? A rainy day, right? So say you save yourself for a Hawaiian trip, right? How about something like that? And instead we go, oh, I got to squirrel away my money in case anything happens, right? And so what have you just set the tone about? What's the thing you just declared in your life? And it's so subtle, we don't hear it a lot. We let the conditions that are outside there determine our experience. And instead, we're supposed to let our mind, our thought, our right action determine the conditions that are happening. And we go backwards. It's like when we have an illness in our body, we think, oh, our body is affecting our mind. But we forget we're a mind with a body, not a body with a mind. Feel the difference? So our mind literally can dictate and declare what it is that we're determining. Now, it takes effort. It takes listening to, say you get a doctor prescription on something, you got to listen to it, but also you got to know. You got to absolutely know. You know what? Not a word of truth in that. I am whole, perfect, and complete, and my health is absolutely exponentially growing every single day. Now, do you want to be around that person or someone that goes, oh, ho, hum, you know, what's his name, Eeyore, that goes around all the time with, oh, man, life stinks, you know, or, oh, this is another thing that happened to me. Oh, my battery died again. My car's a junker. Whatever. You know, we have to turn around and say, wait a second. It's done according to how you believe. So if I'm going to believe in that, where is it all going to go? Where am I generating my energy to? And it is a frequency. The whole world is a frequency. Like I was saying, the guy that hooked the plants up, you don't walk, well, these are little fake plants, but when you walk up to a real plant and you go, oh, you've got a vibration. I hug my tree at least 3 times a week. Thank God none of the neighbors could see me, but who cares? You know, because it's like our trees have vibration, our plants have vibration, everything has vibration, and they're responding in kind. And you know the difference when you're around a negative person, an Eeyore type of person, or the other one I like is, oh God, what's his name? Pigpen from Peanuts. That big cloud of dirt all the time. You know when you're around those people, because all of a sudden you walk away and you're like, oh, I was feeling okay, now I feel awful. I want to go take a nap or whatever it is. And we just don't want to absorb that energy. We want to know, I'm this positive person. I'm flinging these like sparkles out coming from the body. You want to be that sparkler person. And it requires, when we look in terms of manifesting, the key component is, number 1, believing that it was that we desire. And number 2, knowing that we can have it. And number 3, getting away from the resistance to its coming. Because a lot of times when we declare something, especially if it's something big, okay, we have an argument for all of its reasons for not coming. And then we hang on to those. Or if you tell people You only want to tell people about your big dream, the people that are going to support you, because you can find a million people that are going to tell you why it's not going to work. And look at this and look at that, and here's some other roadblocks, etc. I listened to Esther and Jerry Hicks, an old CD a while ago, and they were saying, so imagine you have an idea and you have a dream. And that dream is like a train, and that train has a real powerful engine, and it's sending you in the direction of your dream. And then all of a sudden you have some resistance. Well, that's like taking that train that was going that way and putting the engine in the back part and now making it go that way again. So then you go that way, and then you go that way again, and then you get excited about your dream, and then you go, yeah, but, and then you go that way. And then you know when there's a resistance because it's anything after the word because. You go, well, I can't because. And you know what? You may have great reasons for why something isn't going to show up. But think about this. Is there anything more powerful than God? Is there anything more powerful than Spirit? So why would we argue, well, you know, I am X amount of years and they don't hire people like me, God. Oh, okay. And the universe says, I love you and I support you. Whatever you say. Oh, okay. Oh, you know, someone like me, all the good ones are taken. There's not a chance for a relationship for me because they're all taken. All the good guys. Ever hear anybody say that? I have. And all the good ones are taken. Well, okay, and so it is, right? Because the universe says, I love you and I support you at the level that you're thinking, right? So the idea is to raise that vibration and say, where am I thinking now? Where am I going now? Where do I want to go? What do I want to bring in my experience? Spirit says that we must clear our mind of the restrictions. It's paying attention to what you pay attention to, paying attention to the instruction that they're giving to the universe every single moment. And it's so subtle. You know, I was at a restaurant last night with some friends, and they're like, oh, I'd love to order this steak, whatever the heck. She goes, but you know what? It's going to go right to my hips. I'm like, and so it is, you know? And we say that all the time, don't we? Well, guess what? You're going to create it because you've just said it. And so you kind of go, you know what? It's going to go into my body and feed all the things it's supposed to and eliminate perfectly, and everything's flowing freely and wonderfully, and it just builds my strength. Yay! That's what we say. That's why we bless our food before we eat it. When you bless your food, you're like, I know that you're going where you're supposed to and not where you're supposed to. Not where you're not supposed to, I guess it is. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to go, yeah, you're going to go right here. You're going to build my brain power, whatever, right? But it's affirming and knowing the truth. And so a lot of times you go, yeah, but the reality is, you know, my car's on the blink. I had to get a battery and the thing won't work and I had to replace this part. So what? You had the money to buy the battery. You got the thing all ready to go. You know what? Stay in the so what. You know, there's that beautiful book that Robbins wrote, Let Them. You know, people will tell you, oh, blah, 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 blah. Let them. Let them. You just keep going your way. You just keep staying on that path. I have a story. Oh, and here's the same boiling water that softens a potato hardens an egg. It's what you're made of that counts. It's what you're made of that counts. And there's a story, you know, a lot of us have known people that have gone through horrible situations. And around 4th of July, I started to read the story about Louis Zamperini. Are you familiar with him? He's a World War II veteran, and there's a whole area, I guess, at the airfield that's dedicated to him, etc. And I started to get fascinated with his story. There was a book written by a woman named Laura Hillebrand, and it's called Unbroken. And there's also a movie. I haven't read the book, haven't seen the movie, but I watched a whole bunch of YouTubes that interviewed Louis. I wanted to know Louis. And so I was watching all these different things. In the last interview that I watched, he was 97. But he was talking about all the things that he went through. Now, you and I may go through one horrible thing like your battery dies or whatever, because I'm using that as an example because that happened to be the other day. But it was perfect. My battery died in the driveway. I got the car started, went to the place, they put the battery in. Easy peasy, you know. So I went, thank you, God. And it's like, thank you, Mary, for having the consciousness to allow that to happen. And that's another important thing. Bless yourself for going the right direction. Oh, aren't you proud of yourself for thinking like that? And that's what you need to do. You need to acknowledge it. Acknowledge, you know how wonderful it feels when you get acknowledged for something. Acknowledge yourself. Look in the mirror and go, hey, good job today. Love the way you handled talking to that person that was a little bit negative, or whatever it is. Acknowledge yourself because it feeds that power, that energy, that frequency. So Louis Zamperini, all of us would have probably shut off at the first incident. He's in a plane, and the plane crashes, okay? So the plane crashes. There were 8 guys on the plane, only 3 survived, okay? Most of us wouldn't have made it beyond the plane crash. Well, he was an Olympic athlete that had won the Olympics, and he was a strong guy. He was like 27, I think, when this happened. And he looks out, and far away, he sees a raft that has gone off the plane, from the plane, and it blew up. I mean, it was a raft. And he had to swim out to it, right, after just being in a plane crash and being all hurt from that, swims out to the raft and brings it back to the other 2 guys that are alive. That in itself is a miracle, okay? They float in the raft for 47 days with no food or water, okay? Most of us wouldn't have made it beyond that. One of the guys of the 3 passed away. He said, not only that, we were being attacked by sharks almost daily. Okay, so there's a school of sharks that are now swimming around him, and he said they had 1 oar, and they're smacking the sharks with the oar, okay? Meanwhile, planes go over, and they're waving to the planes thinking, it's the Americans, they found us, they're going to save us. No, it was the Japanese, and they began shooting at the raft, okay? So now there's the sharks, there's no food, they're getting shot at. It's like, you know what? I don't know about you, but I'd be like, okay, we got to change our thinking. And so what happens is they kept getting the raft shot, and the raft deflates. But eventually it floats to the shore. How they got away from the sharks, I have no idea. But they didn't. And they get to the shore, and he's thinking, at least we're on shore. They get captured by the Japanese and thrown into a POW camp. For 2 years, he's tortured, like unbelievable torture. And particularly by this one man called the Bird. And he says, you know what, I'm not gonna let this guy break me. So he decides he's gonna be the positive energy in the POW camp. There were at least 30 of them. I don't know how many exactly there were, but there were at least 30 because I saw a photo. And so they're sharing recipes, they're talking about, he goes, I tried to keep everybody's mind off anything that was upsetting, right? Goes on. Well, the war ends. Okay? And he comes home, and he's a decorated veteran and all this kind of stuff, but he can't go to sleep at night. He's got PTSD. He's constantly in his mind being tortured, and he went through horrific things. You can read about it, but it's horrific. And so he takes to drinking, and he becomes an alcoholic. And that's the only way he can get himself to sleep. He's like, I just got to cancel this. It's so painful to me. So he turns around, that's not working, and his wife looks at him and says, look, you know what? I'm done. I can't live like this any longer. I'd like you to come to prayer with me. So they go to prayer with no other than Billy Graham. So Billy Graham personally meets with Louis Zamperini and says, you know, prayer is many, many things, and one of the biggest things is it's about forgiveness, because that energy is staying with you because you haven't forgiven the people that tortured you and the things that happened. Every time I tell that story, I get goosebumps. And he said, okay, I realized I had to forgive. So he said he prayed with Billy Graham. He went home that night. It was the first night since he'd come back in like 4 years that he was able to sleep peacefully through the whole night. He said he woke up in the morning, he gave up alcohol, and he gave up cigarettes. And he knew in his heart that forgiving was the thing that was going to release the energy that held him back. So he decided he wasn't just going to forgive them in his mind. He went to Japan 3 separate times to shake the hands of the captors that tortured him. And he said, I wanted to look them in the eye. And you can see the one video. I do have goosebumps again. It's just, anybody have God bumps other than me? I mean, it's just, how powerful is that? And he said, and you could see the one guy's like this. The one guy's shaking his hand like, the guy's going to deck me. I'm sure of it. And he's leaning away, but he's like, no, I literally. And unfortunately, the one that really tortured him the most, the guy named the Bird, would not see him, would not come forward. He tried 3 times, and the guy wouldn't come. And he said, well, I forgive him, and I know he wrote a letter to the guy. Well, meanwhile, He comes back and he said, it freed up the energy. So meanwhile, he finds out that this Laura Hillebrand is writing this story about him years later. He never met her. He never met her, and she wrote the book. They talked on the phone, but he never met her. And he finds out, as he's talking to her on the phone, that she's got this debilitating illness where she can't leave the home. I don't know what she had. He doesn't discuss it. But he said, we became so close and so dialed in to this energy of letting people know the power of the mind, the power of the energy of forgiveness, and the release that that can create, that he eventually met her. And in the meantime, he was so impressed with her life, he mailed her one of his Purple Hearts. And he said, you earned the Purple Heart just as much as I did. And at 97, he met her. She lived in Washington, and he went and met her, and there's a photo of them together. And they go, well, what are you going to say when you meet her, before he left? And the interviewer's going, what are you going to say? He goes, oh, there's not much to say other than I love you. And I thought, the power of that. So when we look at someone like that can literally release things, that can literally say, you know what, I'm not going to let this negativity hold me in. I'm going to absolutely accept this truth of who I am. Now, I've got a suggestion. Some of the ways to, how do we change that negativity? Very first thing, ask the universe. Say, Divine Spirit, I am here, I am open, I am willing, I need to know, I am listening. So ask and then listen. Listen to what it has to say. Say, you know what, I decided I'm going to go this direction. I want your support, I want your help, I don't know how to do it, show me. Show me. Just say, universe, show me. And I'm receiving right now. Another thing is you can make a statement like, I've decided. And once you've decided something and you declare that out into the universe goes, oh, there's a serious player. You could say, I've decided to have more wealth in my life. I've decided I have the perfect relationship in my life. Whatever it is, you just say, I've decided. And what happens when you say, I've decided? The law of attraction doesn't know the difference from when you're pretending, when you're playing, when you're doing whatever. It hears your words, right? So the idea of declaring something, deciding something, asking for the help and listening to it is you've now let go of the resistance. And you've now accepted in, okay, I'm open and receptive to all the good that's coming my way just by my very asking of it. Because the universe says it's done to you as you believe. It's done to you as you believe. Not what they believe or anybody else believes. It's done as you believe. So it's all going to happen that way. So how about if you affirm with me? I know the power of spirit is the very essence of my being. I am confident. I make declarations. All in the direction of my good. I let go of any resistance to my good showing up. So look out, world. Here I come. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. This is the time of our sharing of our treasure, so I invite you to take your gift in your hand. I don't know if do we have someone that's, oh, Margine, okay. Are you going to be doing the collection? Okay, Margine will be doing collection. So let's do our affirmation together. And that is, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is. Okay, so now I promised Reverend Gregory we were going to do a little singing. So you ready to do some singing? Do you remember the song, I Am the Light? If you don't, I will show it to you. It's like, I am the light, I am the light, I'm the light in this world, and I shine, I shine, I shine. Very simple. Then it's you, and then it's we. So I'll give you the melody, okay? I am the light, I am the light, I am the light in this world. One more. I am the light, I am the light, I am the light in this world, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. Now it's you. You are the light. Look at your neighbor. You are the light. You are the light in this world. You are the light. You are the light. You are the light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright, and you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. Now we are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world. We are the light, we are the light, we are the light in this world, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. Now here we go. We shine, we shine, we shine. Yay! That was great. You guys did great. That was fantastic. Are you ready for a little guided meditation? Okay, we'll do a little one, and we'll have some beautiful background music. I always kind of foist it on these poor guys, and we're going to get comfy in our chair. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little exercise on good vibrations, okay? And letting go of resistance. So we're going to meet our spirit guide, and she's going to help us recognize that. So let's know together. Just taking a deep breath in. Oh, and just allow that chair to support you, and just relax into that comfiness of feeling centered and whole and positive. And I want you to look down in your mind at your feet, and you see yourself walking through a beautiful meadow. We've been in this meadow before, and it's so spectacular. Oh, you can see the grasses. They're about knee-high, and there's little flowers in them. There's little birdies darting in and out as you're walking through this beautiful meadow. It's so peaceful. The blue sky and sunniness above you with just puffy clouds, just walking. The meadow, as far as you can see, is just the grasses are undulating in the wind. You can hear the birdies and see the butterflies, and oh, it's so joyous. And as you're walking, you can almost hear the grasses humming, that beautiful energy. And you're feeling energized as you walk. And just up ahead, you see a little stream. Oh, it's the most perfect little stream. The water is gently moving over the rocks. And there's a perfect amount of stepping stones across that little brook. Just perfect for your feet. It's not slippery. It's wonderful. And you can feel the wonderful, refreshing, cool water on your feet. And you walk to the other side. And you look off in the distance, and like before you know it, you're already there in this beautiful forest. It's right there on the edge of the meadow. And the trees are spectacular. They're so tall. And they smell wonderful. You can smell the pine, and you can hear the branches rustling in the wind. Oh, and look up in the tree. There's an owl already. It's daylight, and it's just watching you. And you see a little ladybug fly by you, and there's a little deer in the distance, and it has a little baby with it. There's all kinds of little critters that you can hear, and it's like they're following you on this path because they're drawn to your energy. And you're walking up this wonderful path, and all of a sudden in the front you see a clearing. And there is this perfect spot for you to sit. It's carved out of a log and it fits you perfectly. So you're going to sit down in that chair. And then there's another one right there as well that's empty. And you're just looking up through the trees up to the sky beyond. And oh my goodness, it's so refreshing. Just this absolute calmness. And all of a sudden you feel this presence with you and you look up and there's this light being. Oh, it's wonderful. And it sits down and you almost bow to each other as if to welcome each other. Say hello. And you sit down. You're so at peace with this being. And as you're breathing in, I want you to think about what's something that you would like to create in your experience. Really think about that thing. Give it a moment. Is it perfect communication with a friend or family member? Is it a new relationship? Is it more abundance? Is it perfect health? Whatever it is, think about what it is you want to just feel that feeling in your heart and in your solar plexus of what it is that you desire. And so this being, without saying a word, says to you, do you have any resistance to this coming? And you say, of course not, no. Think about it again. Think about if there's any resistance to its coming. Do you think it's, chances are very slim for you, or you heard a diagnosis that didn't sound great, or whatever it is? Just think about that resistance. Now give it an image in your mind, and all of a sudden look down in your hand and see a symbol for what that resistance is. It could be a big blob of Play-Doh. It could be a dark ball. It could be anything. Think about it, and all of a sudden you look, and your spirit guide has a basket there. And it says, just put that resistance in this basket. So you make the gesture and put that, whatever it is, that symbol of your resistance, put it in the basket and let it go. Now breathe in. What does that feel like? What does it feel like to have let go of whatever was blocking your dream from showing up? Just breathe into that. And now, think about that thing again that you want to create in your experience. Whatever it is, that perfect relationship, that release of tension in your body, insomnia, more money, more wisdom, whatever it is, think about it now. And really, really feel it in your heart. Feel what it would feel like to actually have that. See yourself saying to your friends, I've decided that I am seeing a wonderful abundance of money flowing in my life. I see the perfect relationship. I got an absolute perfect health report from the doctors. Whatever it is, see it happening. What does it feel like? What does it feel like in your body? Now that you're feeling that, look up at your spirit guide and she says, I want you to reach into the basket and pull out a symbol of what it feels like to have that thing. What does it feel like to have the perfect life for yourself right now? That perfect thing. What does it feel like? Just allow yourself to be in that energy. And whatever that symbol is, you're seeing it in your hand. It could be a heart. It could be a butterfly. It could be a golden ball of light. Take it and put it to your heart. And just breathe it in. And know that that's become a part of you now. Just breathe that in. What does that feel like? And all of a sudden you feel effervescent. You feel lighter. You feel more relaxed. You feel more at peace. You feel more vitality through your body. That resistance gone, it's freed up the energy in your body. And you open your eyes and you look at your spirit guide and just thank each other. And that guide reminds you that they are available at any time. All you need to do is ask. Ask for that guidance, ask for that blessing. And slowly you rise, each of you from your seat, and you say goodbye to your spirit guide, and they remind you they're available at any time. And you bid farewell for now, feeling lighter than ever. Feeling absolutely wonderful. And as you leave on the path, you walk by those beautiful pine trees again. There's that little deer with its baby. There's a little bunny. There's little birdies following you along the path, just making little chirp sounds. And you feel so at one. You put your hand out and touch a pine tree and just feel the bark. Feel the energy of that tree. And everything that you're encountering just seems to energize you more and more and more. And as you walk out this path, now you're at your little stream. You're going to take those little steps right over those perfect stones. And now you're in the meadow. And you're walking through that beautiful, graceful grass as it's blowing. And you smell the beautiful flowers. And hear the birdies. And slowly but slowly you find yourself back in the room. And when you're ready, just take one more deep breath in and say, oh, this is wonderful. I allow my good to show up in my life right now. And in that moment, whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, welcome back. Did you have fun? You're welcome. All right, we're going to be so energized, we're just going to fly right out of here, right? So now at this portion of our service, this is a time for questions or prayer treatment. So whichever you have. Yes, wait for we get a microphone. Thank you, Vincent. David here has a request.
Thank you, Reverend Mary. That was really good.
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yes, thank you.
There were two transitions Sunday of dear loved ones in my life. One was Lee, my 15-year-old niece passed away, or cousin passed away.
Okay.
And my stepmother wasn't answering her phone for 7 days. So I had the police check on her. The police showed up 1 hour after she passed away.
Oh, wow.
It was both on Sunday.
Oh, gosh.
So I'm concerned about my aunt, the grandmother of Lee. She's been crying a lot. And I know it's grieving, and it's good.
Sure, yes.
But prayer around Evelyn.
Okay, Evelyn, okay.
Yeah, and I know they're soaring right now.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
So what we're going to know is understanding that life is a continuum, and it always continues. It may not continue on this earth plane, and God knows we miss the people that have passed away. And that's tough. And it's something that we have to know that each person is on their own journey, and they're making their journey, it's for them. And we bless them for being in our experience as long as they have been in our experience, but we also bless them in saying, I know you're soaring somewhere else. There is only good that happens, and that good, even if we can't understand it at the moment, that good is happening for that soul right now. And so we're going to know for Evelyn, okay? So here's the prayer treatment. As I take a deep breath in, I just focus my awareness on the power of God that very divine, creative intelligence that is at the heart and soul of all life, here and beyond. And I know my oneness with that power. I know in that oneness that there is only love, that there is only God, that there is only life eternal and love eternal. And so I know when I let go of a spirit that's been in my life, I release the difficulty and I embrace the love that I felt for that person and know that their love is with me always, that their life continues on in a magnificent way for them. And I absolutely accept and know the truth of their highest good. I acknowledge my feelings. I acknowledge my sadness. I acknowledge my grief. I don't turn away from it, but I also bless the very joy of having that person in my experience for as long as they were. I also bless everyone in my experience and knowing that the deceased loved ones remind me to appreciate the living loved ones now. And it makes me take charge of knowing each relationship is a blessing. And so I thank that person that has been in my life. I bless them on their path of spiritual evolution. I thank them for being in mine. And I know that I am surrounded and blessed by that love that strengthens me always. I release any resistance to hanging on to anything that doesn't serve my highest good. And so while I feel the sadness and the loss and the grief, I also feel the love and the joy and the blessings. And I let them balance each other out in my experience. And so as I speak this word, it is done in gratitude. Gratitude for that person in my life, gratitude for my awareness, and gratitude for this understanding of this benevolent, loving energy I call God, living, moving, and having its being through me and each and every one of us. And I speak this word into the law that brings about these results, that is already working, it is already done. The healing, the knowing, the centering, the releasing, the blessing, already done. And together we say, and so it is. Okay. You're welcome. Anybody else? Any questions? Okay, Kenneth.
I have a relative. She's 93. I found out over the weekend she's moving to a facility, assisted living. The good news is 2 of her lifetime friends are going to be with her.
Oh, how fun.
They're both family members. All 3 of them have known each other for 80 years.
Oh, wow. How
So
fun is
she's on the road to recovery from surgery. She's going to be with family. And the other remaining family of a 12-member family, there's about 7 of them, they will be closer because everybody knows all of them are relatives.
that? Oh, that's wonderful.
So they're my cousins and things, but it's just an answered prayer.
Think about it. What a great consciousness she has. What's her name?
Mary Grace.
Oh, Mary, of course. Look at that, Mary Grace. And she's living in grace, isn't she?
Yes, she
Think
is.
about it. What a great consciousness. Her 3 friends are with her. It's like, hey, girls, it's like back to the sorority time or whatever. You know, they're roomies, you know? And she's probably a roomie as well, the poet. But, you know, I mean, think about it, you know? What a great consciousness. And she's got her folks around her. She's lived 93 years, just came through a surgery. How blessed is that? You know, sometimes I think, I don't know about you, but it's so silly. It's so silly. There's little reminders you can do on your phone to stop and have gratitude. It's like, I'm going to put something on my mirror that says, remind yourself to thank the universe. Thanks for the clouds. Thanks for my sandals. Thanks for toenail polish, whatever it is. We forget. And it's like, honestly, and when we put that out there, that's the good vibrations. That's the thing. It's like when you thank things and when you bless them, what happens? They expand. They expand. They have to. But I don't know about you, but sometimes I want to sit down and tell everybody all the garbage that's going on in my life, I got to get this off my chest. It's like, yeah, well, guess what? What have you done when you do that? You just create more junk on your chest, right? So it's like, guess what? We live in an amazing world. Look at this room. It's surrounded by this beautiful light energy of all of us. Think about it. It's like, it's magnificent. And the moment that we acknowledge that is the moment that it expands, right? And so it's just knowing, keep your mind focused on what it is that you desire, on the good that's out there in the world. It's not Pollyanna, and it's not pouring pink paint on it. Sometimes when my brother says to me, "Oh, you're in a make-believe thing," it's like, no, I'm not. I'm making it, and I'm believing it, and it's creating it, right? So it's about knowing this truth. I know the other time I talked about Ernest Holmes talking to the 3 trees that were at Founders, and the one tree in the middle was lagging. And the gardener came to take it out, and he went, wait a minute. And he went out there, and he talked to that tree and said, look, you might have felt ignored a little bit, but guess what? Guess what? You are appreciated. You are valued. You live, where else could you be? You're in a meditative garden in the most spiritual place I've ever met in my life, Founders Church. And he's like, so straighten up and fly right. That tree lived. That tree lived, okay? And so we can say that to anything. Your hair dryer isn't working. I have this other curly thing, whatever it is. My toothbrush isn't working. I'm like, all right, toothbrush, you need to straighten up and fly right? Hey, things respond to our energy. They really do. And that's what this is about. That's what this teaching is about. With God, all things are possible. And it's like the moment you initiate that power, kablamo, it happens. You may say bibbidi-bobbidi-boo after it. You can say whatever you want. But afterwards, you just say, and so it is. And it happens. You feel that? All right, Beverly's got a question up here. You can tell I'm all fired up, can't you? I gave myself a good talking this morning.
You just inspired me.
Oh, good. Good.
Okay, vibration.
Yes.
And I went into where I live, and I have been on the list for about 2.5 years for a 2-bedroom.
Okay.
For vibration. Okay. And it's so important to me, as you've heard about my son, and he comes in now and then. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I went in this morning, and I said, is there a 2-bedroom? And they said, yes, there's 2 2-bedrooms. And I went, yes.
Wow.
She said, you're not on the list.
She said what?
I'm not on the list.
Oh.
So I went high as good for all concerned. I went into my prayerful self as I went out to be picked up by my glorious Anne, and we did a treatment. But I'm just saying vibration is so important.
Yes.
And I'm feeling that highest good, and I release this. If it's mine, it's mine.
Absolutely.
And I love when you said, I can't remember the word, I declare, or whatever you were doing.
I've decided,
yes.
I've decided. Right? Once we make our mind up a decision, it's like imagine you've gone into the restaurant. You can't just look at the waiter and go, just bring me something. What's your favorite food? And sometimes I do that. Oh, my goodness. But at any rate, we've got to decide what we want. The universe goes, hello, I'm here. Just tell me what you want.
Yes.
And so we have to decide what it is we want. So when you say, I have decided, I have that 2-bedroom apartment, I'm knowing it, it's declared so, list or no list, I'm on the list because I'm on God's list. Boom, I'm done.
Thank you, thank
That's
you.
it.
Very
Yeah.
inspiring. And
Yeah.
vibration is so important because
It
I
is.
always say if we vibrated a little higher, we wouldn't be seen.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you. Anne, yes.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I have to. I was waiting for her to say that. Oh my God, aren't you going to do this? Anyway, but I just want to say I love your talk so much.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I loved the history about the song,
Yeah.
Good Vibrations. I had gone to Brian Wilson's concert a few
Ah,
years
yes.
ago, and I just love the Beach Boys. I went to one of their concerts
Sure.
decades ago in Washington State, and so that was a beautiful memory. And then also having you mention Louis Zambrini and the movie and the book, which I did experience both of them.
Oh, okay.
He was very honored at El Cholo Restaurant on Western in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And we used to go there every Sunday after church for lunch.
And where was this? What?
On Western near Pico.
A restaurant, you
Mhm.
said?
El
What-
Cholo
Oh,
Restaurant.
El Cholo. Okay, okay.
It's actually the original one, I believe,
Oh,
the one
okay.
that's on Western. And they once a year they would have a special party, and I believe they actually called it Zambrini Day. But when he was at SC, they had pictures of him and all of that, and they had a whole room by the fireplace, which we ate at usually, called the Zambrini room. you
Oh,
know?
cool.
And all of these athletes from SC, because that was not too far, or is not too far from SC, and so a lot of the SC people would come there,
Oh,
especially
cool.
the athletes. But we did go to two of those celebrations, I think, and then Louis Zambrini was going to come to the next one, and we were excited because we were going to go. We got invited and all that kind of stuff. He died just before that, but the story is so valuable, and I appreciate you reminding
Oh,
us
you're
all.
welcome.
I had forgotten some of those details,
Yes.
but oh, what an amazing consciousness that man had.
Yes.
So thank you for that.
You can see a lot of the interviews, etc. if you look on YouTube and you just look up his name. And that's what I spent a lot of time watching them all. They were really fascinating. Thank you. All righty. So we were ready. Oh, wait, Vincent, we've got Casey here. Yeah, we got to wrap. I think we're over time, but that's okay. You go for it.
Whatever is keeping Ruth Wagner away today, not that Marjane didn't do a great job, but let's treat for great health for Ruth Wagner. And all of us.
Absolutely. In fact, I did a treatment this morning for her, and she's on our healing ministry. But if there's anybody else that wants a treatment for health, let's just do a little quick treatment for health, okay? So this is what I know. God is all there is. That power, that omniscience, that greatness of life is all centered in that power of spirit, that divine creative intelligence that I am one with. I live, move, and have my being in that power. And so therefore the health of God is mine. That truth is absolutely in my heart and my soul. That God's power, God's health, God's wisdom, God's beauty, God's knowing is mine. And I call on it at every moment. And I'm knowing that that health moves through my entire body, energizing every organ, every cell, every atom, every bone, every thought, every feeling, every vibration in my body. And I allow it to be so. I step out of my own way of resistance. I step out of my own way, and I know my highest truth. The health of God is mine. That despite no matter what the physical appearances, they are not greater than God. And that power is operating through divine right action right now in the body of Ruth and the body of all of us for our perfect health. I let go of anything that stops or blocks that, and I open up my thought to my own expansiveness and my own desire, and I declare it. and in gratitude, knowing that it is so. And so I release this prayer into the law of mind, knowing that it brings about my divine highest good and perfect health realization right here, right now. We let it be so, and we say together, and so it is. Okay. Now we get to go out and make it a fabulous day. All righty. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Thank you. See you next time. I think I'm come back. I don't know when I come back. I come back the last Sunday of the month. That's when I'll see you. Okay. Oops. Thank you.